How's it going, YouTube? Welcome back to a brand new video where I'm going to talk about how much I made by selling my own clothing in a gym for a month. But before I do that, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Adrian. I own a clothing brand called North Astor Club. If you want to follow the social medias, they're down below in the description. My social medias are there too, so don't be afraid and show some love to those too. So I don't know if you've seen the first video where I talked about how much money I made in the first week of selling my clothes in a gym. But that first week I did really well. But before I get into all the numbers, I want to tell you guys the experiences that I had selling my clothes in person versus online. And I want to tell you the differences and the pros and cons to both. Okay, so a big difference versus selling clothes online versus offline is that online or offline, you can actually interact with the person and you can kind of help them, sell that product. Because they can feel it, they can take it and say, hey, this is going to be a good fit for me, versus online where they have to look at models and heights and lengths and stuff like that, which obviously it's going to be easier to buy it in person. And another thing is, like, they get to meet me and they get to ask questions like, what made you come up with this brand? And once you tell them the story and the motive behind it, they kind of like get engaged and really see the vision of the brand, which makes them want to purchase it even more. So that's really what I was like getting from, like, the feedback I was getting from the customers, when I was just telling them about the products and they were just seeing it and they would ask questions. Overall, it was really interacting, and honestly I didn't even have to say much. The products really sold themselves, because I'm not trying to brag, but my products are really good quality, and they're simple but they have some flair to it. The funny thing is, like, I told myself I would never buy a store to sell clothing in, which is probably true. I still wouldn't. But one thing that I do now is pop-up shops, and I try to get my clothes into some retail locations, obviously smaller businesses, because me myself am a small business. I'm not bringing in customers through the door like I'm Supreme or anything. Hopefully one day though. But yeah, last point before I get into the numbers, if you have a website, try getting into pop-ups. And speaking of pop-ups, I'm actually gonna have my own in September, so if you want to be a part of it, hit me up. I'll send you all the information. My bad for the quick plug, but like I was saying, try to get into these pop-ups and see how much better you convert, because people are just going to be more engaged. They're going to be more invested into the brand. So yeah, let's get into the numbers. So for the first week, I did $662. You guys would have known that if you've seen the first video. If you haven't, there's this link right there, or right here, I'm not sure. It's going to be on one of the corners that are going to take you to that video, but watch that after this video. So for the first week, I did $662. That was a pretty good week. That week, I actually sold 36 products, which was really good. And also at this time, this gym barely opened up, so it had a lot of customers coming in. That's why, the first week is definitely going to be my best at $662. So for the next week, it dipped a little bit below, because as the gym got more clientele, less and less people came in. So there was not a lot of new people to introduce the brand to. Now, keep in mind, this gym is from my town, and it's not really introducing, because a lot of people in my town are actually aware of my clothing brand. And side note, I work at Dollar General, and every time I bring up my clothing brand, they're always like, oh yeah, you're the owner of that one? And yeah, which is still crazy to me. And for the second week, I probably did around half of the revenue for the first week, which was $359 for 21 sales. Like I said, it's been slowing down, less and less new customers to really introduce my brand to. So for our next week, we did all right. We did 9 sales for $200, which was really good. But as you can see, the sales were slowly declining, which is okay. And I seen it from the start, because there's a limited amount of people gonna go to that gym, because it's in a small town, and nobody really is gonna come out of town just to come to that gym. Although there was one or two, that's pretty much about it. And for our last week, which was our worst week, like I said, the sales are slowly declining. Not that many new people, but we did $152 for 8 sales, which is still good for a bad week. That's around like 1.12 sales a day. Just kidding, I don't know. So for the whole month, that puts us at $703 of revenue for the month. Now for the expenses, it was just the fee to enter, which was $40, And if you subtract that from the revenue, it's $1,333 for the month. Now that doesn't mean all of that was profit, because $570.23 of that was actually our cost of goods sold. Now if you don't know what that means, it's basically like, say I'm selling some jeans, right? And I sell 2 of them, and each jean costs $10 to make. So, you know, and they cost 20 bucks. So we sell 2 of them for 20, that makes $40 revenue, but they were each 10 bucks to make, and we sold 2 of them. Our cost of goods sold was 20 bucks. But for our example, it was $570, which leaves us with a profit around $762.27, which is a pretty good margin. That's over 50%, which is what I like to aim for, even after all the expenses. And overall, selling my clothes in person did definitely help out my brand. And honestly, I don't think it really matters where you sell your products at. Obviously, you know, you want to sell it to where, you know, your target market is going to be at. But, you know, for me, my clothing is not really gym clothing, and I sold it at the gym, and I still made a pretty good profit. And honestly, I think my clothing would sell good in a lot of places, because, you know, it's very diverse, and, you know, the quality is there and the meaning is there. And, you know, I feel like a lot of people would be, you know, invested in my brand if I told them my story. And I encourage all of you guys to go out there, whether it be pop-up shops, your friend's gym, you know, clothing store, or wherever you can get your clothing into, and actually sell it in person. Go do it, because, you know, you're going to convert better, you're going to get your name out there, and you're going to be able to touch the lives of others if you call 1-800. I'm just kidding. But yeah, anyways, do it. You don't have to do it forever, you know, maybe once a month or twice a month, however much you want to do it. I say put your brand out there and do it. It won't hurt your brand. But anyways, that is going to be the end of the video. If you guys didn't make it this far, that probably means you enjoyed the video. But don't leave yet, because I have an announcement. I'm going to be in SneakerCon. I'm actually in SneakerCon right now as this video goes up. So if you're going, come say what's up. I'm going to have a booth out there. I'm gonna have a booth out there, and if you want to buy these sick hats that haven't came out yet, I'm still gonna sell them, you know, when I get out there. You know, definitely don't be shy to drop by. But yeah, like I said, that's gonna be the end of the video. Don't forget to smash that like button, as well as hit that subscribe button. Really helps out the channel. But yeah, that's gonna be it for today's video. It's been Adrian, and I'm out. Peace.